Let me start out by asking you something. Have you ever seen anything more hideous than this little table? Well, good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday. Making a new table for my small bandsaw. Belt sander. Memphis Monday 92. But we're not going to get anything done just sitting here chatting. So let's knock off the yammering and get to work. Besides being too ugly, the table is too short. You can see that I have to reach way down to the only way this would work is if you were sitting in a chair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot for a height that's about equal to this heavy-duty scaffolding here. So this would be at a comfortable height. The top height of this is 38 inches. I think I'm going to make our table a 39. Let's go look at the carcass. So to get the height I need, I've had to make the sides, or the back and the sides, 32 inches long. And then when you add the top and the bottom plywood, and then the 4 inches for the wheels, that gives you 39 inches. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of sticking the carcass together. Okay, there's the sides and back for our carcass all stuck together, and I'll go ahead and put the top and the bottom on it, and we'll go from there. I'm doubling up the top and the bottom with double sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. I will glue them together, stick them together with brads, and also screw them together. Okay, now I'll put the second sheet plywood on there. Cut the same size, so they should line up. And I'll put some brads in around the edges. Well, we're on a roll, putting the trim on. Once we get the trim on, we'll start thinking about what kind of drawers we want in this thing. Okay, I got that trim on. What I'm trying to do now is try to figure out how many drawers to put in this thing. I want to use this stock. I don't want the gap between the doors to be too big or too small. Well, isn't that a bummer? Let me show you the problem. Here you can see the dilemma. I got these 5.5 inch boards, and they're not wide enough. Looks like I need 6 inch wide boards. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll save these boards instead of making them wider. I think I'll save these boards for the next cabinet project and just go get me some 6 inch boards. Well, I got some 3 wider boards here. These are 7 1/4, and then I cut these down to 5. So I'm going to have 3. I'm going to have 3 large drawers and then 2 smaller drawers. I got them all spaced out here with spacers so that they're evenly spaced. And once I had the drawer fronts evenly spaced, I found the centers of all the drawer fronts and put a little mark on the trim here. And that is where I want my drawers. These are going to be 6-inch drawers, and these will be 4-inch drawers. So I want them centered in these drawer fronts. Then once I had the centers of the drawer fronts marked here, I simply took a measurement and measured between each one of these marks. Then I took those measurements and measured out these little spacers, which I'll use to draw lines inside the cabinet where I'm going to place the drawer slides. So here, using this method, you can see how incredibly easy and foolproof it is to figure out where you're going to put those drawer slides, those drawer guides. Okay, now I take these out. So I take those out, and you can see those lines. That's where the drawer guides will be put in. And then the drawer slides are installed right on those lines. Okay, let me go ahead and install these because we're on a roll. Okay, I measured the distance across between the inside of the door slides, 18 1/16. So I went and cut this piece of plywood 18 1/16. Now, the reason I go to the trouble of doing that is I got to make sure that that 18 1/16 goes all the way back, that these drawer slides are exactly parallel and all exactly the same. Well, you just saw me cutting out the stock for the drawers. What I'm doing now is just kind of sticking them together. I'm using inch long staples. And of course I can check them as I go by sliding them in. Make sure they fit. I'm using 1/2-inch AB plywood for the bottoms of the drawers. I've taken extreme care to ensure that the bottoms are square, so if my boxes happen to be out of square, I can pull them into square. I'm using 1/2-inch staples. I'm going to go ahead and install these one at a time. I'll fiddle with them as I go. Any sanding or anything I have to do. This is kind of the exciting part because I get to see if my measurements were any good. sometimes when paper meets the real world, things are not as they seem. But can't complain about that. For consistency, I'm going with the same style doors I have on some of my other furniture. Perhaps you can see this drawer design a little better in these drawers we built a couple of weeks ago. It's got this kind of raised front feature, rounded over with the little edge. These are the kind of drawers we're going to put on our project today. Okay, here's the trick for doing the drawer pulls. First, I just locate the center by going corner to corner here, putting a little X, and then I put a little dot right there in the center. So that's the center of my board right there. And I got this little template with a hole right in the center, so I can line it up on that dot. So now my template is lined up on the board, and I take this ice pick, and right in the center of those two side holes, I mark it with my ice pick. Here's another trick I use. Remember, we just put those ice pick holes, one right there and one right there. That's where our screws will come through for the drawer pull. Now you notice the drawer pull extends out here about 3/4 of an inch beyond that hole. So that means we can drive a brad right through here to temporarily hold this on until we get the screws from the inside. Yeah, if you remember a few minutes ago, we took the time to put the spacers and the cleats and all that business in. Well, I think it's going to pay off now, because now we can just put our drawer fronts on, temporarily tack them right beside where that bolt's going to go. Now for the spacer, I put that spacer in there. And this goes right on top of it, the next drawer. And just repeat the procedure. I wish it was harder. And the same thing for the next drawer. Put our spacer in and temporarily tack it up here. So what I do now is put clamps on the oak, because what happens is when you drive those screws in from this side, when the screws hit this oak, they don't want to go in. So I clamp that, reach in here and bend over the brads. Let's get them out of the way. And then I can drive these screws in with my 12-volt driver. Before we go any further, I'll put a little stain on it. Remember, with this stain, what we're going for is the contrast between the oak and the maple. This is oak trim here, and then this is lighter maple. I think it's going to look okay. What do you think? That's about all the staining I'm going to do. I'll let this stain dry a little bit, and we'll put the drawer pulls on it. Then after the drawer pulls, we'll put the wheels on it, and then we'll be done. All right, I'm getting these handles on here. Pretty straightforward. To get this thing off here, I'm going to have to take drawers out and make it lighter. I think the drawers are interchangeable, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to keep them in order. What I'm going to try to do is put it on the ground, so on its top, so I can put the wheels on it. If you ever wondered how much a project like this might cost, wood's not too bad. Just whatever wood costs. But these wheels here are $18 a piece. But they're worth every penny of it. I always like to see myself doing this, lugging this stuff around. Old Ugly's got to go. Well, there she is, 39 inches tall. Got my small belt sander on it. Got 5 drawers, 100% pull out, 75 pound test. 2 small drawers, these are 4 inchers, and 3 6-inch drawers. I don't know, do you think I have enough storage here for this? We can always add to it later. I tell you what, I'm always finding an excuse to keep Old Ugly here. Well, this time, I'm not taking any chances. Going to the dump. Well, what do you think? Pretty nice little table. Over the next few days, of course, I'll put some polyurethane on it. You know, that takes several days, as I like to let the polyurethane dry for 24 hours. They say you can do it in, 2 hours, but I find it sands a lot better after 24 hours. If you just put it on, it kind of be gummy sometimes when you sand it. My hatchet wants to know why this little sander rates a 5-drawer table and it doesn't have anything, but you know how this thing is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and favorite and share and Facebook and tweet and all that stuff. And if you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe button and click on notifications. YouTube will notify you then when I have a video coming up. Or you can just remember that video comes up every single Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning. I guess that's it. Nope, one more thing. Make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for watching.